Hi there, welcome to a special edition of my 10-minute moan. And unusually, I'm not alone. I've got a very special guest, good friend, who unfortunately was arrested at the start of last weekend. And it is the one and only Silver Fox, who many of you know. I know we share a lot of viewers who follow both channels. So I'm just going to introduce David, and then we'll talk about his arrest and what's happened since. So, how are you, David?
I'm all the better for seeing you, my good friend. And at least I'm not actually inside, looking out the wee small window through the bars.
Yeah, yeah. So for those who don't know, and those people who maybe have lived in the moon or been under a rock for the last 5, 6 days, could you just run us through the events of Friday evening in your own words?
Yeah, we're sitting there just watching TV or whatever. About 9 o'clock, knock at the front door. I thought it was an Amazon parcel. And I opened it, and there was two police cars, four policemen, I think, and they asked me my name. I said the name. They said, "We are arresting you under Section 18 of the Public Order Act." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" They weren't. So they came in, they allowed me to get ready. I had some medications I have to take because of conditions. Um, Said goodbye to my wife. They picked up my laptop. They picked up my tablet that I normally use to record. I'm doing this on the phone, which is why everyone's been moaning, actually. "Oh, we don't like your video anymore. The color in your video is all different." That's because I haven't set it up. It's a brand new phone. I haven't set it up. But anyway, they took me. It's a 40-minute drive to the police station. The joys of living out in the sticks, isn't it? Got me in, booked me in, put me in a cell. This would be by, say, 10:30. I was in a cell. I lay there till 1 o'clock in the morning. They took me out of the cell at 1 o'clock. I was allowed a sort of 10-minute conflab with the duty solicitor. We went into the interrogation. There were four videos, basically. Two of them I had threatened to kill the Prime Minister. I hadn't, of course, but we'll come to that. One of them was comparing the current Chancellor of Germany with the little Austrian mustachioed painter from 80 years ago, and saying that perhaps Germany needs a new final solution. And then one of them was for racial incitement incitement to racial hate, because I'm calling people who come and rape and murder children third world scum. And things like that. And I happened to mention that Muslims and things like that. So there was incitement to racial hatred, comparing to someone to Hitler, and threatening to murder the Prime Minister. What a load of old bollocks it all turns out. Anyway, 90 minutes of this. It was obviously clear that the police, lovely man, the policeman, he was fine, he was polite, he was a nice guy, but it became abundantly clear that he was trying to trick me into admitting my guilt. "Don't you think that this could lead to this?" "No." "Well, don't you think that people could see this?" I said, "I can't help what people would infer. I don't control people's minds," and so forth like that. It was clear that they needed me to admit the guilt, and I didn't. I had a response to every question they asked. My answer was good, and it became clear that I was actually angry with the government and their policies. And then where it was a problem with illegal immigrants, it was the illegal part of it, illegal immigrants, I was responding and angry about, not the immigrant part of illegal immigrant. They couldn't get me on any of this. After that, I was allowed a bit of time with the solicitor again. She said, "You answered very well. You didn't admit guilt. You had good answers, good responses to their questions." She said, "I think you're probably going to be okay, but it depends on the CPS." Anyway, about 2:30 or so, I was put back in the cells. And then they woke me up at 5:30, got me up to the front desk, bailed me to reattend on the 1st of May, handed me my stuff back, but not my laptop and tablet. They kept them, and then sent me on my way. I've got to go and apply and get those back, particularly the laptop, because I pay myself through my own company, and I have to do my payroll. So got to get my laptop back. But it's all there up at the moment. It's all up with the CPS. If you get a nice CPS, I'm off the hook. If I get a bad one, they're going to charge me. But then I'll just have, I've been in touch with the Free Speech Union. They're looking to see if they can take on my case. So fingers crossed, that's where it sits as we are now.
So There's these 4 videos. What criminality were they alleging during these interviews?
Well, with the ones with the immigrants, it was incitement to racial hatred. The Otto Schultz one, because again, it was incitement to racial hatred because I said that Germany needs to have another final solution. Clearly, the whole tone of the video was clearly meant to be humorous and a satire. A chancellor of Germany who's complaining about one section of society, exactly the same as Hitler did 80 years ago. And of course, I'm not calling for the millions of deaths and death camps opening up Auschwitz and all that bollocks. It's clearly satirical. It's clearly a joke. Even the cop sitting there, and he was like, you could see he knew it. And yeah, just because I say the words Keir Starmer, rope, and lamppost in the same sentence doesn't mean I'm expecting the people of Britain to get up en masse, have a revolution, and dangle him like Mussolini. It's clearly hyperbole. It's clearly a figure of speech. It's that they were desperate to try and get something on me. And from what was being said, I have a feeling that all of this came from one complaint, or one complainant at least. It looks like it was somebody who's just sat there, gone through this, and tried to do it. I think it's political. I honestly do. I think somebody from the Labour Party has done this. They don't like me saying these things, and that's just the impression I get from what the police have said and what they didn't say.
Yeah, there's a case just been at court recently with the Welsh ex-Marine guy, where the complaint came from the office of one of the Labour Senate members, and that's a bit scary. That they'll try and put it at arm's length and say the guy who done it or the woman that done it only worked in the place. It wasn't under the instruction of the person she worked for, who was the Labour senator. But it just leaves a stinky smell, doesn't it? And are you suggesting then that that's possibly what's happened here?
Well, I'm not saying it is, because obviously I have no proof that it is, but I'm saying that it's definitely a possibility. You can't dismiss it out of hand, considering that it has happened already. So there is no smoke without fire, but
Well, there's precedence for it already. I mean, it's proven where the complaint came for that guy who done similar. I don't know what platform he used, but he certainly put a video out and ended up at court. And it took the court, was it 17 minutes for the jury to decide?
17 minutes,
no criminality. Yeah. So where are you now with the whole complaint, and what happens next?
Well, if they drop it, that's it, it'll go away. If they don't and they want to prosecute, like I said, I've been in touch with the Free Speech Union. I don't know if they're going to come on board. Either they will or they won't. But either way, I'm going to rigorously defend it. I'm going to be not guiltying the whole way. I'll take it all the way up to a jury trial. I've got a solicitor on board, and we're looking at the possibility of a barrister to come on board as well for this. There's many lines of defence that we're going to use. I'm not going to speak about the defence, obviously. That's not for general consumption. I've got to keep that one quiet. But we have several lines of defence to actually repel the case. So it's just a case of wait and see if the CPS is willing to want to take this to court and face another defeat.
And have you been given any indication of timescale how long this would take?
No, I'm bailed till the 1st of May. But again, the solicitor there says if they are just going to re-bail you again, I don't need to appear on the 1st of May. She's going to deal with that for me through the police. And she says that it will probably be 3 months or so before you find out what the indication is from the CPS, whether they're going to charge or not. But she thinks they'll probably drop it. She says it's 50-50. She said, but if she had to say yes or no, she said she thinks it will probably be dropped. But you can't guarantee anything.
Not at all. Especially since the things that we've seen go on in our judiciary system since the summer. Since unfortunately the murders of those lovely wee girls in Southport.
Yeah, I'm going to say just on that, particularly because of that, something the police said to me It was the sergeant, I think it was the, what do you call him, the custody sergeant. He said that had this happened during the summer, I would not have been bailed, I would have been remanded. He said, but everything seems to have calmed down now. Said that was all done at the time. Said that was to stop the riots. It wasn't the punishment. But if that's the case, can't we let these people who are in prison out now? The riots have gone away.
That is an amazing thing for anybody in the police force to say. So what they are saying is we did have, and they've just admitted that there was two different judiciary systems, one for people that felt could incite riots and one that couldn't. And that's pretty disturbing. I mean, it's great for you that you were 6-7 months down the line and not under that. So that also suggests, perversely, that there must have been some instruction given from higher powers. If you
doesn't it? Just screams it, doesn't it? What's ironic, though, Craig, is the time frame. All 4 videos appeared within about a week or so, and it was around the Ruda Cabana time. You know, back in, it was the end of January, beginning of July. End of January, beginning of February. July, where's that come from? End of February. End of January, beginning of February time. So that was the Ruda Cabana going to court and all that. So, yes, I think there was a lot of passion, should we say, anger, mostly at the government. You know, mostly at the government. And indeed, if you watch 3 of the 4 videos, you know, all the anger is directed towards the government itself, which is why I think it's political.
There's something I just want to draw to your attention. You're probably aware of this, but the public will maybe like it. Now, this is your YouTube channel, the page, right? And we've got, you know, you're flying now. I think from probably Octoberish, your channel was always busy, but it seemed to just go crazy around about the turn of the year. Your subscribers shot up, your views were shooting up, your content was coming out far more than previously, and that seemed to have a really positive effect in your channel. And then there was something I was just looking at before you came on, and it's this here, your stats, right? Now, let's talk everybody through this. This is your videos published, and as you can see, there were 19, 26, 21. You're doing 20 odd videos a day, right? Then this peculiar thing happens. And what's that, between the third? Yeah, so for about, almost a week, zero content. What happened there?
I got a YouTube ban. That was it. I got a ban for a YouTube.
What was that for? What was that for?
That was a video I put up where I said that it was the government. If you remember, it was the time the government's immigration figures and the illegal immigration into this country, and it was really, really high. And I think I went on about that. And it was the government's own figures, and I got that week ban. Somebody obviously complained there. You've mentioned these figures. Other people have mentioned these figures. I mentioned these figures and say that this is illegal immigrants coming in here. They're, you know, taking our resources, taking our money, taking all that sort of thing. And then YouTube said they've had a report, they've looked at it, and it's hate speech, and they've taken it down. And then gave me a week's ban for the privilege. Thanks.
Yeah. Now, the bizarre thing was, we spoke at that time, and you said to me in Preston, I've got this ban. And I was like, what? I'd put out the exact same video on the exact same day. Now, because I had been ill for a while, so my channel seemed to have taken, not a nosedive, but a bit of a wee drop for a while. And I get no contact whatsoever. But your channel that was in fire at the time, and was a much busier of the 2 channels at that period, you get taken down, which I thought was most bizarre. And then when you factor in, where are we? And look what happens here, right? These things are nuts, right? So there's your views. But funnily enough, when you had that ban, you were still getting views because people were still, you know, watching you had a lot of videos that nobody's going to watch 22 videos in a day, with all due respect. So a lot of the people who are used to watching your videos were watching older content, you know, before your ban. And then with this other dip, where your views just went to 0. You see that?
Yeah.
And I don't understand that, because if you look here, the second dip here, that would have been when you get arrested, I would imagine. 8 for the second. So that makes sense, right? But perversely enough, there's your peak day. One day you get 4,000 subscribers. That's your subscriber numbers for the period.
That was the day. That was the Saturday. Yeah, that was the Saturday when I did the I was arrested video.
Yeah, so perversely enough, it was probably no bad. For your channel, you've got, it's gave you another boost. But what I think is really screaming at me is if you look at the length of time you've been on YouTube and you look at this window in time here, this is probably by far a really busy time for you in comparison to the rest, which has been busy. But in comparison to the rest of your channel's history, so it's you're actually flying, and then quelle surprise, you start getting banned off YouTube, where somebody has obviously complained, and then to follow that up, interviewed for potential and alleged criminality. I don't think these things are not, standalone facts. That your channel's flying, your content is very provocative to people, who do not like the government. And I've been saying this since the summer. The vast majority of the UK population, I believe, are concerned about knife crime, are concerned about the levels of immigration, and are concerned about the levels of fake asylum and illegal immigration. And I kind of think that's a consensus of the people in the United Kingdom. But when you talk out about it, this is what you get. And
you're the baddie. You become the criminal for mentioning it.
Yeah.
How dare you highlight the problems of society?
Yeah. You and I spoke, I think, Monday.
Beginning of the week,
And you were saying that you were kind of more wary of what you're putting out, more wary of the topics, and particularly careful with your words. Now,
can I just say there, Craig, I've got to actually explain. As part of my bail conditions, there is a line in my bail conditions, and I have to be very careful about posting on certain subjects. So I'm not banned from posting about immigration, but I have to be exceedingly careful what I say on immigration as part of the bail conditions.
If that's part of your bail conditions, then if
removal
you put
of free speech. Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is, if you put out a single video on that topic, then you could get a chap at the door and your bail revoked immediately. Yeah.
If it's a controversial, I can mention it. I can say there was a story today, you may have seen it, for example, about an asylum seeker on her 9th attempt, who, in order to remain in the country, actually joined a terrorist organization in order to get it, was granted asylum by the judge, who said, and the judge said, I don't believe, I don't believe you. You are obviously lying. She said, but because of the law, I've got no option but to grant asylum. 9 attempts and had to join a terrorist organization and had to lie in court, but was given it because of the law. Yeah. And I was highlighting the issue there, not with the immigrant, don't care. One woman is not going to make the difference. The highlight in the problem here was the court system, the law, the establishment is the problem.
I've got the exact same video lined up. It's just ridiculous that's where we are. But you've basically got bail conditions that and it's not you or I that will decide where the line is. It'll be a copper or somebody in the CPS that will decide, oh no, he put a video that I don't like, and you could lose your
freedom.
Your freedom again.
Yeah.
And you know what it's like. I mean, how long? I don't know if they're still pushing these cases through at speed, but it seems not to, because when you look at the Labour councillor guy, his has still not been put to court. No. So it looks as if you're back to sort of normal lengths. You could be 6 months to a year before this is supposed to reach any court, if that's indeed where it ends up. So I find that most bizarre that you've got that condition over you. Basically, you're having to sit and think, can I get a chap at the door?
What am I not allowed to talk about in a modern Western society? Is effectively what it is. Now, I've taken legal advice. I've mentioned this elsewhere, that what I can do is set up a corporation in Delaware, in America. And then what I do is I make my videos. I am not the publisher of them. So I hand my channel over to this corporation, this American corporation. So I contribute to it and it publishes them. And that way it's the publisher, not me. So if there is any issue, they have to sue the company but the company's in America and is protected by the American First Amendment, the right to free speech. So good luck with that. They then can't come after me because I'm not the one who published it.
And
So
have you had that checked legally? Is that?
I'm undergoing that legal check now. Yeah, it costs about $500 to $1,000 to set this up in America, and I'd have to open up an American bank account. And for that, I'd actually physically have to go to Delaware and open up a bank account. That's not an issue. For the sake of a couple of $1,000,
if you want. Yeah. I'll do a documentary on that. I'll come with you. So the costs might go up a wee bit, but I'm sure you'll be all right with that.
Yeah. I'll put you down as a business expense.
I could be filming your journey for you as a documentary.
You know how you're allowed to bring a dog on a plane? If it's your comfort dog, you can be my comfort Scott. I can sit there. You can be on my lap. I'll be patting your wee head.
They get a bowl.
I hope not. I hope not.
Well, listen, mate. It's good to see you back. In terms of when we spoke last, I was a bit concerned. I wasn't concerned that it was going to happen to you. I was a bit concerned that you were down in the dumps and you were.
I was. I mean, on that Saturday, I was depressed. I was really down, and I really got to say, really wasn't until maybe Monday or Tuesday that I started lifting up fully out of it. And now I'm like, screw them, whatever. It's going to be what it is. It is what it is,
Well, you're not a career criminal, and some people are used to that process, and I'm quite happy to suggest that you're not. So, I can imagine what it would be like just being in that situation. I've been in a similar situation myself.
The only other time I've ever been arrested, Craig, was 25 years ago for drink driving. What a naughty boy. But I don't do it anymore. So...
Well, you don't drink or you don't drive?
I don't drink and drive. I do both, but not at the same time anymore.
I've noticed, David, we've had some conversations when you've done one of them, and I've met you when you were driving. So. Aye. Is there anything that we've not covered that you want to get out there to the public, mate? Or?
No, except to express my deep, heartfelt thanks for all the support. It's been stunning. The amount of messages of support, people coming up, and other YouTubers as well, yourself, Ash, Paz, Andy the Gabby Cabby, so many people put videos up in support. It has been overwhelming. My wife has said it, she said, I had no idea that you had that many people supporting you and that you're affecting people like that. And I was like, neither did I. So to each and every one of you who's offered support, thank you very much. It has meant a lot.
Well, to be fair, mate, I put out a wee video on this Saturday. We spoke about it.
I saw it with me behind the bars. I was roaring with laughter at that.
And your comments on that were great if you haven't read them. And the amount of people, even just people not in cyber world, in the real world, have been asking me, I was at the kids' training a couple of times since you've been arrested, and some of the parents, was that Silver Fox? And then even when I went on to that, I was a guest on the podcast, The Majority Show on Wednesday. It was one of the first things that they asked, and it's, that's testament to you that you've got so many people behind you, but, it must be quite a comforting thing when you actually, you're feeling that kindness coming your way. So, and it's no surprise because, your content's good. You're speaking the same language as, the majority, I would suggest, of people in the United Kingdom. And when these things happen, it's like as if it's one of your own, isn't it? It's that sort of feeling vibe about it. So, no, it's not a shock.
The thing is, we all sort of say the similar things. So it was my door this time. Whose door is it going to be next time?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Any of us could have a knock.
Yeah. I mean, that one where you got the ban, you spoke about it. I was like, what did you say that? Did they say we covered the same topic in very similar language, and you get banned from YouTube for it? So we're putting out similar content, and it could be argued that I'm saying things as if that's an alleged crime, then I could be next. So who knows? But no, fair play to you, mate, and thanks for coming on, giving us a bit of your time, and we'll speak to you again.
Not at all.
Soon.
Always happy to do it.
All right, buddy. So there we go, folks. The amazing David, the Silver Fox, and his horrific story. Absolute bonkers. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please hit the subscribe and the notification bell. Your comments below, and if you want to say anything to David, stick it in the comments below, give us your opinions and thoughts on the topic. But most importantly, unless you're the type of person that reports people having an opinion that you might just not like, that does not appear to be criminal in any way, then not you, but everyone else. Have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.